For me, it was just, I can't live my life without him. This is it for us until we're old. That's all I can think of. It's true though.
My name's Mohammad and I was diagnosed with bowel cancer in May of 2021. I started to feel constipated, low energy, and that pain in my abdomen was becoming more frequent. I decided to go to the doctors. I was given 4 weeks worth of laxatives and told to come back if nothing changed. Unfortunately, my father passed away in the February of 2021, so my health issues were put to one side and concentrated on burying him. That felt like a wake-up call to really push the doctors to get a proper diagnosis. I saw a specialist at the hospital who stated that it was an IBS and I would need a colonoscopy, and that's where they found the tumour. As a result from the cancer, the operation, the treatment itself, I now have numbness to both of my feet, predominantly on my right foot. I have a drop foot on my right foot. I have chronic and severe nerve damage down my right leg. The painkillers dull that pain, but it's constantly there. I was told that it's a strong likelihood that I wouldn't ever walk again and I'll be confined to a wheelchair. Probably through sheer stubbornnness and determination, I wanted to get back on my feet. I wanted to try to be as mobile as possible. So I was foolish to think that I could probably return to who I was previous to the cancer diagnosis. But I found that I was actually grieving the man that I used to be, and I needed to stop looking backwards and focus on moving forward. When I wake up in the morning, the first thing I notice is the shooting pain up and down my right leg. My right calf is completely seized up, making it almost impossible to move. My feet can't bear any weight, so it is very difficult just to get going in the morning. I have to make my way downstairs using the stair lift, and I go about taking my medication. Some of the adaptations that we asked for when we applied for a house through the council was that we wanted it to help me with my disability. My condition, unfortunately, doesn't stay, it fluctuates. And so if I'm in a tremendous amount of pain, it might be that case that I just stay in bed. That's the challenge that I face daily. One of the key factors was having a wet room, because I couldn't get in and out of a bath. With this wet room, it's a nice open space. There's rail guards near the shower and near the towel rail. We've got a chair which collapses where I can sit down and have a shower in. It just folds out, nice and neat, tidy, doesn't take up too much space, and it's relatively comfortable, and I will just sit back on it. The shower head is there, it's angled towards me. We've got a handrail here, helps me get in and out. My work as a project manager, a lot of it's at a desk where I'm having to type up. Because of my disability, I've had to reduce those hours simply because the amount of pain that I'm in, discomfort, plus the overwhelming side effects from the medication that I take mean that I can't do what I used to be able to. My cognition isn't what it used to be. My motor skills have slowed down significantly. The toughest decision was to say to work that I have to reduce my hours. Work have been brilliant. We kept in touch through their kind of long-term sick process. At no point were they kind of pushing me to come back. At each stage, they would check-ins and they made sure that everything was working for me. If it wasn't, then they would go about making changes where they could. Before cancer, I was very much a positive person. I was all about self-help books and personal development. I was going to the gym, I was cycling, I was eating well. I kind of had a philosophy where I was just trying to be the best version of myself. And even then, cancer hit me, and you kind of question yourself as to say, well, where did I go wrong? What could I have done better? I have to work on creating a new version of myself with the limitations that I have. And that caused depression, suicidal ideation. I was in a very dark place for quite some time. My self-worth was non-existent. It was very difficult to look in the mirror, so I stopped looking after myself. Whilst prior to that, I had taken my image to be professional, presentable. So as I came out from surgery, I was under the care of a wonderful Macmillan psychiatrist who helped me with reframing who I am and dealing with the grief, not only to who I was before, but also the passing of my father.
The medication that you're on can affect your mental health quite a lot. If you didn't take that medication, then you'd be in constant pain, more pain than you are in even now. And then it's then trying to remember to take those medication as well, isn't it? I think the pain reminds you quite a lot. And the medication that you're on, you shouldn't be, a normal human being shouldn't take more than 6 months. It's been 4 years that you've been on this medication. So then it's then thinking, longer term, what will that do to your body?
I don't think you'll be able to see all of those disabilities. I mean, you certainly can't see the stoma. It might be that you can see the outline of it through the shirt. Most of it is hidden. I will carry around all my supplies for my stoma needs. So there's a bag there, Chef, if you want to pass that.
One of the children will have a rucksack and carry that for their dad, or you'll carry your own kind of rucksack.
So I have this wherever I go. So this is what I keep all my stoma supplies in. So I'll show you. So it has a stoma bag. Essentially that's where it collects all the waste through there. It has wet wipes. This is the stoma seal. So that sits on around the stoma. Essentially it goes on there like that and creates a better seal. So the adhesion is much stronger with that, and the black liners to dispose of it. The adhesives remover spray, so you apply this first and that will just eat away at the adhesive materials on the stoma bag, and then it will just come away. I use a barrier cream, again that's just to apply around the stoma area. I use this, it's just a neutralising spray, makes the smell more tolerable.
We often plan our day around when your stoma's going to go. So we won't go out for a meal until the stoma's finished, and then you change and then we'll go out, because it is that fear of where are the toilets, you know, how clean are those toilets? Being in the toilets itself, is there somewhere I can sit? Is there somewhere I can put my things without it being dirty, and those sort of things. They found a conversation on a WhatsApp on their grandma's phone that we were all having as a family, and then they found out through there that what cancer it was, what the diagnosis was, how serious it was, And they came to us and said, why didn't you tell us? From that moment, we had a conversation. We just decided to be really honest with the children. When Mohammad was in hospital, that's something that the children just don't like talking about at all. I think that was very raw. Their most important person in their life is on the brink of dying, and they understood what it meant because they've just experienced death with their granddad. So they've fully understood what that meant. It meant forever I will never see that person. So they don't like talking about the hospitals. With Moosa as well, having ADHD, he has medication himself, and we were a bit nervous of him taking the medication because it's quite prone for children with ADHD to reject the medication. But because he understood that Daddy takes meds, this is important for me too. So we've had no issues with him taking his own medication as well, and they get stored together. It's almost like a father and son strange thing, but yeah, it works.
Noor was a tremendous amount of support. She was there to say that I've got this and just fill me with that positivity, give me a reason to carry on, remind me that I've got 2 wonderful children at home waiting for me to get better, to come home.
And I think it has definitely made us much closer. We definitely talk about things that we probably would have never have talked about before.
No, and we've done things that we probably wouldn't have done or delayed. Children are far more resilient than we ever give them credit for.
You're very modest, and I don't think you see what the children see in you. The children honestly think that their dad is a superhero. With all that he's battled, all the aches and pains that he goes through on a daily basis, and still manages to get up and says to them, "Morning, how you doing? What's your plan today? What subjects are you doing today? Got any after school clubs?" And just having that general conversation and knowing that he's in pain when he's saying that, it almost lets them say, do you know what, I'm not going to let life beat me down. And I think that it's made them a lot stronger as a human being, as individuals. For me, it was just, I can't live my life without him. This is it for us until we're old. That's all I can think of. It's true though. I look at our children and I couldn't imagine bringing them up without their dad, because I'm this crazy kind of person, like, oh, let's go do this, and he's always the person they go to and ask for advice, and like sensible advice, and he'd be the one that would sit and go, I can understand you're upset, I can understand that you're feeling this way, where I'm just like, come on, let's get on with it, let's go.
Noor's very sunny side up.
Yeah.
And I would say probably more methodical,
just
practical.
Realistic. You're just realistic, and this is it. And I think just being not only a single mum but a widow was just something that I couldn't think of in my mid-30s, and it's something that I was so determined not to be. So when I was hearing doctors saying we're going to have to think about having our final goodbyes, I was like, absolutely not. It's not happening for me. It's not happening for my children. My husband deserves to be on this earth beside me and our children. What do you need from me to get him better?
He's quite a fun person to be around, usually quite quiet. He's definitely a hero because I think it was stage 4 bowel cancer, and that's quite bad, and I think he's got through it, which is really good. The fact that he's doing things like this is just really good, and he's still here with us. It's just the best thing in the world.
What is that?
I actually don't know, I just call it
Should we call it a
panda.
panda?
No, I call it a panda squirrel thing.
The owls are dominant
but
to the kingdom of the adaptations.
But then Iron Man does to save the panda squirrel thing.
The owl is attacking the being.
We are both young carers for him. He does do a lot around the house, which we get angry for because he gets tired very quickly, like my mum does. I think everybody gets tired really quickly, to be fair, but especially him with his meds. I think we try and do as much as possible. He's very stubborn in that way.
Yeah. It just makes me feel good to do good, if you know what I mean. If I see my parents doing anything like hard or they're struggling with anything, I'll just walk over to them and ask if I can help. He usually says, no, I'm doing this, but I help anyway.
I feel like at school, people say, oh, my mum's made me do the dishwasher yesterday, and I was like, that's a daily task. So it's been quite hard, and just realising that your friends don't do that every day. Your friends do it for money all the time, and you have to do it. But you're doing it for a good cause, which makes it better.
Unfortunately, COVID hit and we weren't going out very much. You fell poorly. So I just kept saving and saving and saving, and for a rainy day. And our honeymoon was supposed to be Mauritius. That never happened. And you were having a big birthday. So I just thought...
I'm big 40.
Big 40. So I said to the children, let's surprise Daddy with a big holiday. So we were all kind of secretly going around saying where to go, and I just came up with Mauritius. It has to be Mauritius. Esha created a PowerPoint slide of a quiz of what country are you really from? At the end it said what country you were from is the country we're going on holiday, and you were just like, that doesn't make sense at all. And it said, we're going to Mauritius, and you just originally thought like, that's just one of Isha's PowerPoint slides, well done, good girl. And it's like, no, we're really going on holiday and we're really going to Mauritius. And you just thought, no, this can't be true. And I said, we're going to Mauritius. I've got it all paid for. We need to do the planning. I've got a travel agent who's going to help us with special assistance, making sure that our hotel rooms are all ground floor, or if the hotel has got a lift and those sorts of things. And yeah, it was a huge surprise.
When we spoke to even the travel agent, just to say, right, I have issues with my legs, right, we'll get a wheelchair for you. I can't carry anything at all. We'll make sure there's a trolley ready available for you. There was a lot of barriers to kind of go, almost why we shouldn't do it, because it causes too much stress, too much work, but the pros outweighed the cons massively. So where I am now, I'm cancer-free, which is great news. For the next 5 years, I'll be looked after by a specialist cancer nurse and have regular consultations with my surgeon. I'll do routine tests every year, scans, to see if there's been any changes. The difficulty that I had was actually finding someone that looked like me, that was going through the issues that I had, that I couldn't find those individuals where I could go out, had similar experiences to my background and my heritage. But what I found was that there's an enormous gap with regards to the BAME community and the people coming forward for trials and getting involved with charities and putting themselves out there and talking about their health issues. So I looked at that and said to myself, well, if I'm looking for change, maybe I'm the one that needs to create that change, and through that, by exposing myself on social media, championing these issues and being open and honest, and that's encouraged people to actually get themselves tested and Hopefully that will change lives. More importantly, hopefully that will save lives.